heart of a bustling college town, where the ivy-covered buildings stood as timeless monuments to academia. There existed a tale that whispered through the corridors and lingered in the shadows. It was the legend of the ghost of Ivy Hall, a spectral presence said to haunt the oldest building on campus, its origins lost to the annals of time. For Ethan, a diligent student immersed in the pursuit of knowledge, the legend was nothing more than a fanciful distraction from his studies. Yet, on one fateful night, as the moon cast its ethereal glow over the campus and the air hummed with the quiet energy of the night, Ethan's perception of reality would be forever altered. It began like any other evening, with Ethan buried in books and notes in the dimly lit confines of the college library. As midnight approached and the library emptied of its occupants, Ethan found himself lost in the pages of a particularly engrossing text, oblivious to the passage of time. It was only when a sudden chill swept through the air, raising the hairs on the back of his neck, that Ethan looked up from his studies and noticed the empty rows of desks around him. Shaking off the feeling of unease that had settled over him, Ethan gathered his belongings and made his way out into the cool night air, the silence of the campus enveloping him like a heavy blanket. As he walked along the familiar path back to his dormitory, Ethan couldn't shake the sensation of being watched. Every rustle of leaves in the wind, every shadow dancing in the moonlight, seemed to whisper secrets that he couldn't quite grasp. It was then, as he rounded the final corner leading to his dorm, that Ethan saw it. A figure, draped in darkness, standing at the edge of the campus grounds, its form barely discernible in the moonlight. Heart pounding in his chest, Ethan took a cautious step forward, his mind racing with thoughts of ghosts and spirits. But as he drew closer, the figure came into focus, revealing not a ghostly apparition, but a living, breathing person. Relief flooded through Ethan as he recognized the familiar features of his classmate Ryan, standing with his back turned, lost in thought. "Ryan," Ethan called out, his voice breaking the silence of the night. As if startled from a trance, Ryan turned to face him, his expression a mix of surprise and confusion. "Ethan, what are you doing out here so late?" Ryan asked, his voice tinged with apprehension. "I could ask you the same thing," Ethan replied, taking in the tense set of Ryan's shoulders and the way his eyes darted nervously around the deserted campus. Ryan hesitated for a moment, as if wrestling with something unsaid before finally speaking. "I was just taking a walk, trying to clear my head," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. Concerned by the haunted look in Ryan's eyes, Ethan reached out a hand, placing it gently on his friend's shoulder. "Is everything all right?" he asked, searching Ryan's face for any sign of the truth. Ryan's gaze flickered away, his expression unreadable in the darkness. "It's nothing, really. Just some personal stuff I'm dealing with," he replied, his voice hollow. Sensing that Ryan wasn't ready to open up, Ethan nodded in understanding, silently offering his support. Together they walked back to the dormitory in companionable silence, the weight of unspoken words hanging heavy in the air. As the days passed, Ethan couldn't shake the memory of that night. The image of Ryan standing alone in the moonlight burned into his mind. Try as he might to dismiss it as a trick of the imagination, a nagging voice at the back of his mind whispered that there was more to Ryan's late-night wanderings than met the eye. Determined to uncover the truth, Ethan began to keep a closer eye on Ryan, watching for any signs of distress or unusual behavior. What he discovered would challenge everything he thought he knew about reality and the nature of perception. It started with small things at first: Ryan's sudden bouts of forgetfulness, his uncharacteristic mood swings, the way he seemed to withdraw from their circle of friends. Ethan brushed it off as stress from exams and deadlines, but as the weeks went by, the signs became harder to ignore. Then, one night, Ethan received a frantic phone call from Ryan, his voice trembling with fear. "Ethan, you have to help me. I think I'm losing my mind," Ryan whispered, his words barely coherent over the line. Heart pounding in his chest, Ethan rushed to Ryan's dormitory, his mind racing with thoughts of ghosts and spirits. But when he arrived, he found his friend huddled in a corner, tears streaming down his face, muttering to himself incoherently. With gentle hands, Ethan guided Ryan back to his bed, soothing him with whispered reassurances as he tried to make sense of the turmoil raging within his friend's mind. And then, in a moment of clarity, Ryan spoke, his words a chilling revelation that would shatter Ethan's perception of reality. "I've been seeing things, Ethan. Shadows in the night, whispers in the darkness. At first, I thought it was just my imagination, but now I'm not so sure. I think there's something in Ivy Hall, something that's been watching me, waiting for me." Ethan listened in stunned silence as Ryan recounted his experiences, his voice growing more frantic with each passing moment. And then, as if on cue, a chill swept through the room, raising the hairs on the back of Ethan's neck and sending a shiver down his spine. With a sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach, Ethan realized that Ryan wasn't alone in his terror, that whatever haunted Ivy Hall had now set its sights on them both. Determined to uncover the truth, Ethan embarked on a journey into the heart of darkness, delving into the history of Ivy Hall and the secrets that lay buried within its walls. What he discovered would challenge everything he thought he knew about the world and the true nature of the shadows that lurked in the night. For Ivy Hall was not haunted by ghosts or spirits, but by the echoes of the past, the memories of those who had walked its halls before. And as Ethan delved deeper into the mystery, he came to realize that the true source of Ryan's torment lay not in the realm of the supernatural, but in the depths of his own mind. Haunted by the specter of his own fears and insecurities, Ryan had been driven to the brink of madness, his perception of reality twisted by the weight of his own inner demons. And now, as Ethan stood on the threshold of truth, he knew that the only way to save his friend was to confront the darkness head-on, to shine a light into the shadows and banish the ghosts of the past once and for all. With courage born of desperation, Ethan returned to Ivy Hall, determined to face whatever horrors awaited him within its walls. And as he stood in the empty corridors, bathed in the soft glow of moonlight, he felt a sense of peace wash over him, the knowledge that no matter how dark the night may seem, there is always a glimmer of light waiting to guide us home.